Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, world. Happy Sunday. Some people call it Sunday. They got different days for what they call today, but happy Thanksgiving, happy November, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in to another live segment here with the You Will Make It TV family and YouTube channel where we like to share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. We do thank you for your support. All we ask is you stop by, give us a like, even if it ain't every day. A like here and there, a share, or a subscribe, okay? And when you subscribe, this keeps you in the loop of notifications, okay? Every time we have a new posting of content. Isn't that great? I just want to, because I'm not going to do an introduction every time I come on. Most people know what it is I do over here now. I just want to jump straight into the topic because the first thing that crossed my mind when I saw this viral news trending in celebrity news, right, was a lot of industry celebrities are now coming out because it's more of a viral topic to talk about people's beliefs and spirituality. And I just want to give my commentary on why I think that is as well. Like, what other time have we seen in history that people cared so much about what your spirituality or religion or practices are behind the scenes? Now, this is just me and my opinion about this. Kanye West is a good example for my topic because, right, wasn't one of his first hits titled Jesus Walks? But I'll get back to that in a minute. It just seems like to me he wasn't one of those that was, let me say it like this, he was more of boldly proclaiming, just kind of put it out there. Now, just because, of course, somebody writes a book, a poem, a music pertaining to Christ, it wouldn't always just mean that they, I guess it should mean they believe in him, but I'm just saying, does that mean they're living their life just perfectly and have everything perfect? I mean, then what is perfect? But for Christ believers, the Bible says that we are only perfected through Christ. In other words, without Christ, you wouldn't be perfect anyway, because nobody is. That's why I feel like that's a bold statement in that text of the Bible. But I'll get back to that in a minute too. He was one of those that might have maybe gave us an inkling or put it out there, not just when it came to inspirational or motivational music, but also music of the faith, right? Because we know he came back out later. He got a couple other gospel albums out there, those that are probably more recent than even the single Jesus Walks, right? So he's just a good example. Like, once again, I've gotten over the point where when I see news about Kanye West, I'm judging him. Like, I'm way past that level. Because I know we all pretty much experience different things on our walks of faith. And don't let you fall off that walk of faith. People going to see things they ain't never seen before. It's usually a clear inkling that that person was walking on faith once upon a time in their life. Because why would things just go haywire, berserk, up and down, bouncing all around in a person's life? What else makes sense? Did they used to walk on faith before? But these are the type of questions I ask myself deep inside before I just judge somebody. Faith being broken, heartbreak, all of that is very real. When I watched the movie Signs with Mel Gibson, I reverence to that movie a lot because his role was a pastor in that movie. He had a wife, he had a family, he had other things he did in his day-to-day life. I think they even had a farm. Okay? So that was just his profession at the time. It was more than a profession to some people. It was their walk of faith. Because he did, I just love the movie showed that part. I know it's about aliens and other stuff, which is significant probably too. But what he was going through before the whole alien invasion even happened was pretty much like his faith was broken. Pay attention to the movie. When his wife died, and put yourself in those shoes, nobody wants to, death hurt all of us. In the holidays, this is a good time to talk about it. People be grieving and hurting and thinking about their loved ones. So I just want to give condolences and, positive thoughts and prayers. You don't have to accept them. But even if you don't, I myself know loss. I've lost people that I love. And the holidays, I don't know why. It'll make you think about it. Why not? You loved them. But He lost his wife in a bad car accident. And that's another thing, to lose somebody and you was right there by their side, because that's kind of how it was. Some people don't even get that privilege. They didn't get to be right there, or so there's many levels of that when it comes to grief and loss and the things that kind of end up leading people to what we call broken faith or broken heart. And I'm not talking about, I'm not directing this at Kanye West or nothing. I just, as a person, I already understand it. That's why no matter what narrative they put out there with that man name, like, you just sound like a fan. No, no. I saw the single he came out with in the very beginning of his career called Jesus Walks. I'm a very big fan. Because if you listen to the song, it ain't like, oh, I just like this song because uh, the word Jesus or Christ is in it. No. Listen to the man's music. Okay? So I was like, why are people so shocked, or what are they getting to when they say, oh, Kanye West is meeting with the rabbi and Israeli leaders? And okay. I was like, why is this such a sparked up like, for example, I've never been, maybe I am, I just never put myself out there like, oh, I'm a celebrity. Ooh. No, but I'm a regular person. How I've always looked at myself, I'm a regular person. And yes, you can meet a pastor or somebody and you wasn't even trying to. They they go out in regular society and stuff sometimes too. Maybe priests and stuff too. I don't mean just pastors, like people in more of leadership, who might meet with, because I thought about priests and how they might meet with people sometimes for confession, because I've never actually practiced that. Not at this time in my life just yet. But I think how it goes, they meet and they do like a confession session. Okay? And I guess if you don't practice that or believe in it, you really can't say too much of it. I just know there are people that been do that. Now, I would just say, in my opinion, make sure these people want that publicized. Like, isn't your spiritual life and all that? I understand how it's supposed to be private, even with Jesus. You think he got to be Jesus in privacy? Let's really think about it. I'm not saying that privacy is not important to me or it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to keep up with the times too. And my bad, there was a call that it did say sorry guys, I had to move that call really quick cuz this was getting a little deep. Or maybe coincidences aren't as just coincidental as we might think. People might say, well, Jesus didn't have privacy when he walked here because there weren't iPhones and iPads and cameras and all like what we have today. No. Before all that was here, first of all, how do we know that stuff wasn't around? They call them emerald tablets, all these different tablets over the course of history. How were they? We don't know how all of them was made, but that's another topic. As far as privacy, though, Jesus didn't really have that all the time. I can't say I think that Jesus was always, privacy just wasn't his first right, like what, being raised with families, right, in our households, you get to learn everybody. They get a certain age, you might want to give them a little privacy. Me and God care about this. I just thought I would use, what they were saying with him meeting with the rabbi and people wanting to know what's going on. People have been going to confessions and stuff like that, maybe where they want to talk to somebody about their life. I'm just saying, what's wrong with that? It might have showed clips and parts of what they might have been discussing. That's what I noticed, because I did go at least to try to take a look at it. I did. I'm checking. It keep giving me notifications, but all right. I don't want to get off topic here. Uh, anyways, I don't see nothing wrong with that because maybe if what Mel Gibson was going through in that movie, he didn't want to talk to nobody. It ain't, now, I'm not saying that's just the first level of this, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with wanting to talk to somebody in more of a direct field of that work when you're going through something, right? That you might not understand. And he was a man of strong faith too. That don't mean not, that don't mean anything when your heart is really broken about something. I love that to see Mel Gibson play a role like that, like the father, a husband, and a man of God. So that's one of my favorite movies to date, right? And just so happened it's called Signs. These aliens were coming and leaving signs on the earth, right? And why was it that him and his family, they were whole grieving somebody when it started happening? They was focused on something totally, and is that what it is? I feel like you can fight in war about anything, just about, but to fight in war or some kind of competition over something like the word signs, SIGNS, like, oh, who can make the greatest sign? Just listen to how that sounds. But sometimes maybe you have to have kind of put it in, the point of view that I'm trying to give. I have to put it in a way that people can understand. All right. But yeah, like to compete with signs and stuff is, how can you do that? I just feel like that's a whole different type of battle. And then depending on where the signs is coming from or whose signs they are, what do you mean? Maybe y'all never thought about it, but I mean, people seem to war and compete about anything else in the world. Why not SIGNS too? Now, I spoke on signs, but there's two other ones that's mentioned in the Bible. They said signs, miracles, and wonders. I don't even know how I got out. I couldn't wait till the time to talk about these. You don't know what a person already been studying into, just, have an interest in anyway. Signs, miracles, and wonders. But I'm just talking about signs real quick. That's the name of the movie. Like, I don't want to ever find myself, even unconsciously, that's even scarier. Having a war of signs with somebody or something. Huh? Because, like, who is the original sign maker or creator or what we call a sign? SIGN. And then, it's different definitions for signs. Like, I'm talking about the ones that's like symbols or code or stuff like that. Not signatures. Because that's sign too. And they spelled the same way. Did you get you one?
They didn't have the code. They only had wrong.
Signs, miracles, and wonders. I, y'all can take notes if you want to, but this is interesting. And we all feel like we know what a miracle is. And we all feel like we know what a wonder is. So signs, miracles, and wonders. It's just written in the Bible. We might see more of those at a certain part of time. At a certain point of time, you might see certain signs, wonders, and miracles. Also, because this is where it get deep. Like with any religion, like they do all seem to believe in the same thing in some way, shape, or form. Those three words that I just said: signs, miracles, and wonders. All religions, they're gonna believe in some way, shape, or form. Their own right theories about signs, miracles, and wonders. That's why I said I never want to really get too deep as far as trying to be one of the greatest sign or something like that, not intentionally. Signs and codes are older than us. That's interesting too. Like just a whole interesting fact. Now we might have more modern signs and stuff like this, street signs and emojis and stuff like this. But back then they was already on signs and symbols and codes. This is not new. You see, in any religion you look at, I said that's funny. They have all of them have that in common. They believe in some form of, you know, recognition of signs, miracles, and wonders. In my opinion, any religion you go look up, any cultural practice. I didn't say they all believe in the same things. They do believe in those three things. Because maybe to people, signs, miracles, and wonders only goes back to power. And if you have power struggles and people that want power anyway, maybe want it or need it. Because why would a person feel like they need power? So, yes, let's not discourage the ones who still say, well, maybe I want to go talk to somebody for a little bit more spiritual guidance or direction. I think that's actually wise. Not talking about Kanye West particularly, but anybody could just, want to go talk to somebody on a deeper level about their spiritual path or something they feel like they're going through in life, or things so different they feel like they barely have control no more. Stuff like that. What's wrong with going to go talk to a professional that works in that? And at least, because I say that's better than people just jumping into anything about the situation. If there are people out there still helping people like that, bravo, hats off, all that good stuff. Now, does that mean those people they go talk to are perfect people either? That's why I said, huh?
Do you like them?
Yes. That's why I said, when faith is broken and stuff like that, that matters. Heart breaks. I don't care who it is. Faith, because a person can go from like high to seemingly depleted of it over circumstantial things in life. What do I mean by high faith? There was a man named Peter in the Bible, for example, and his faith was so steadfast in Christ and his signs, miracles, and wonders, right? That's another religion. I told you all the religions. It's another where they believe in signs, wonders, and miracles. They say his faith was so rooted, he was walking on water in front of people too. A real sign, miracle, and wonder don't care who's around. Because when people invading your privacy, they don't care who around. They don't care who see it. So why wouldn't God be as bold? That's my question. Why wouldn't God be as bold if signs, miracles, and wonders are real? The spiritual world, why wouldn't it be bold? Or why would we think it wouldn't or doesn't have the capacity to be bold? Not just existent, but bold. That's a whole nother thing there. The Bible talks about something called boldness in Christ too, right? I didn't want to just reference to the Bible for this topic, though. I was trying to make a point that just about every religion believe in some type of background power. I called it signs, miracles, and wonders because the Bible calls it that, right? Like, you got magicians that can do tricks that make people say, wow! They have magician shows. They look like they cutting somebody in half, and the whole time the woman's still intact, like a magic trick, like an illusion. That's, I guess, because we're talking signs, miracles, and wonders. I was trying to compare an act like that versus signs, miracles, and wonders. Now let's pay close attention. Right there in the story of Moses, right, when it was like the beginning, when he was trying to kind of just finally build up the courage of, there go that word again, boldness, to go speak what God had told him to tell. a specific person, which was the Pharaoh at this time, the king. Or he was finna be king. I'm not trying to get these particular parts of the story exactly right, y'all. But it's a part that I am for sure about. That God sent him to tell somebody something. All up and down in the Bible, it says that God would send prophets to tell people things. And they might have been living a more lowly life, Lowly, or seemingly lowly, humble life than the people that God would send them to tell the message to. Every time. I done seen it so much in the Bible. Like, he used, they might be known as prophets or what, but they usually are like lower class of who God sends them to tell the message to. This goes back to money and riches every time. Because why else couldn't people be let go and stuff like that? It's just crazy. Because he just sent them to say that, let my people go. It's just time to let them go. That's how, and to me, how is that not exhibiting grace and mercy? You sitting here giving like more, hey, let them go, let them go, let them go. I'm even sending somebody you love to tell them to let them go because I'm not playing. He like, I'm going to send his own brother over here to Egypt and tell him what I said. Let him go. Anyways, why did I bring it up? Moses exhibits God exhibits an act of what you might call a sign, wonder, or miracle. Because maybe the leader felt like, no, I need to see some kind of proof. Because you could just call somebody crazy who say, God told you to tell them something. They might just look at you crazy or think you crazy off the rip. So he's trying to be a wise leader. Well, show me some proof of what you're talking about. So Moses, God displays an act of miracle, sign, or wonder through Moses right there in that moment. But guess what? I'm sorry. Yeah, Moses. But guess what? The king had people too that would try to, like, they was already on the scene ready to do it. This how much wealth and status and power came with who Pharaoh was. He had people like that. You got dancers, anything he wanted to entertain him at any time. It could be 2 a.m. If the king want 25 dancers to come in there and dance, he was able to do that. I don't know why I said 25. I just threw an example out there. So yeah, he would try to contradict whatever sign, miracle, or wonder that would be performed through Moses' hands, which was really God. He would just already have people ready. Like, oh, okay, you got a rod you can turn and it turned to a snake. We can do that too. Oh, you can do this. And then they saw later that they shouldn't have played like that because that's like you trying to compete with signs, miracles, and wonders. This ain't regular guns and tools and weapons and nukes and stuff. This is sign, miracles, and wonders. Like, trying to just like dispute it and contradict it all the time. Like, well, we can do that too. We can do that too. That's exactly how they started in the story of Moses too. Then when certain other stuff started happening, like every firstborn in the town died, they like, oh, this is something different. That's when they started looking just a little bit like this might be different. Every firstborn son died. Locusts is all over the sky. Certain things they couldn't copy, that they couldn't show like, oh yeah, we can do that too. God started, kind of hammering down his judgment a little harder. I said let him go. Even after the let go part, because why not mention this when people are talking about Israelis and Hebrews? It's been discussed more than ever. Who are they really? Where are they? What really happened? Why wouldn't you care about the story of Moses then? The book of Deuteronomy, the books of Moses, and all of this. It's a great time for people to pay attention. It's these books been out here though. It's not about being religious freaks. Knowledge is knowledge. Research is research, whatever, and we have a freedom and right to that today. Now, when other stuff started happening like that, though, like seas turning red, I guess, in my opinion, that was the land itself cursing itself, not obeying the instruction of God. Like, you're saying, oh, Moses doing this. They was trying to blame it on Moses too. That's the name of Kanye West's song though. Jesus Walks. He probably doesn't talk about Moses directly in his story in the song, but once again, they be trying to separate and dissect all the parts to it. No, all of this goes together. The Moses story, the Jesus story, all that's in that book, and other religions have their own books. You know how that go. But why wouldn't this matter? You saying you talking about Israelis and chosen people and all of this, right? Yeah, they thought they try to blame Moses, like Moses, this you doing all this, and they know Moses used to sit right there with them. Moses could never do that stuff before. What, baby? No, it's gonna text me. That's what I was telling you. Yeah, they was trying to blame Moses for what had begun to happen, just because he was the one trying to speak. He was the one trying to be obedient and actually care about going to talk to the higher religious people, which back then, they really, some of them didn't have religions. The king was their God. What do you mean? They have to call him my Lord and everything. Or they had other gods. That's very prevalent in the history of Egyptian, religious culture, spirituality, whatever people want to call it. I was just saying, why wouldn't people think that matters even today? Before you like, what is this black man over there doing, talking to the rabbis and stuff? Like, they're the ones publicized it, or what? He wanted it publicized because some was saying, oh, it's just like y'all know Kanye West, he like attention or something. Mm, no, attention kind of comes with that when you work in certain levels of profession, and he earned pretty much. He's always shown that too when he feel like it's too much attention. Like he might show that. He's never been one to like. We talking about that word bold again. They called Moses bold. They called Jesus bold. Not everybody was like just absolutely bold where they needed to be at certain times, y'all. Think about it. Even Peter, when they asked him, hey, wasn't you one of them? Wasn't you one of those with him? We used to see you with Jesus. Yeah, that's one of them right there. Peter couldn't just be bold in that moment for some reason and say, yeah, I'm with him. And y'all got him heading up here on this hill with the cross. And just imagine how that would have went. But he couldn't be bold in that moment. So what does bold mean? And why do people only practice or believe in secret and privacy? Why has it always been like that? What's wrong with people boldly believing in their faith? Because guess what? I know what broken faith look like too. So the boldness on the other side can be more respected and like honored when you know the other side of the lack of boldness. If you don't know the other side of the lack of boldness, I guess you wouldn't find the beauty in being bold. Some people it's just about power, like I said. But no, boldness is not just about power. When you have to be bold about things in life sometimes. They've always called Kanye West bold though. Now, I don't know if this might be significant with everybody's viral opinions right now, but I had noticed somebody in the comments of one of the blogs earlier of a blog I was reading, they were saying, do y'all think that they're antagonizing him through his daughter? And that was just so deep to me because, like, why would people think that's okay, even if that is happening? And he's one of those fathers not just in the world, but in the industry or whatever, that actually it looks like since day one has had no problem like absolutely being present, trying to be in his daughter's life. So that's why I say it's not our business really. I don't know why people think people kids is their business, bro. Like I'm still trying to adjust to that newness. You know, come on now, and the status he on, like. But if people are your fans or you have well-known status and stuff, yeah, because not every celebrity chooses to put their kid in the spotlight just because they're in the spotlight. Like, show them all the time, post them all the time, record them on shorts and upload them for the world to see. They'll call themselves internet aunties, internet uncles, internet cousins, internet sisters, right? Internet besties. But they don't know that. I'm not saying, because like I'm saying, what do people want you to do? Hide your kids? That, y'all remember that Dotson guy? He had that song, hide your kids, hide your wife. And everybody was laughing at it. Now we know that it is comical, but what happened to him, what made him go viral, where he had that little hit song out of that clip, was somebody had broken into their house. Wherever he was staying, somebody had broken into their house and came through the window or something. I forgot his name. I think it's Antoine Dawson. And he was saying, hide your kids, hide your wife. And then look, they need to go back and interview him. Because for real, bro, now it's the future. And it's like, for real, bro, is that what we got to start doing? Hiding our kids and wives? Because someone was saying maybe he trying to go talk to them on a spiritual level. He going through a lot with his daughter. Like, okay. But like, since when did just trying to be a parent become so challenging? Now that part is real. You know, because we know that there's victims in the world of certain kind of assaults and different activities. When the kids are young ages, there's really victims out here. And it's like, no, we don't want to show that part. We don't want to show. No, that part is already shown. The stories be on the news and everything. But if it hit too close to home, that's the only way a lot of people see it sometimes. Like, I guess when it's a news story, they just like, oh, well, that's unfortunate for them. But if it's closer to home, of course you would feel it, even if it's not you directly, just like somebody in your community or county or even a closer neighbor. That should affect people some kind of way, but yeah, victims are very real of all ages. Nobody's saying that Kim Kardashian's daughter, Kanye West's daughter, is some kind of victim, but it is something he's always boldly professed that, look, I'm not want to see my daughter go a certain way or just fall by the wayside and different stuff. Like, he comes out and boldly been saying this for a long time. And then maybe even you would say a good example of what a father could be doing, where they can and stuff like this, right? But others were saying he looked like he didn't want to really be on. I don't know. They was like, is this just another mental health episode he's having, or why? Because he's talking to spiritual professionals and want opinions, you know. Or what would you guys' advice or would be?